Hey, this is Dan from Bodybuilder in Thailand.com. Yeah. I've been doing something recently that's really helped me with my energy levels, and that's drinking electrolyte drinks. I drink a lot of coffee. I've drunk a lot more coffee in the past than I do now. Now, these days, I probably have 3 cups of coffee a day. But I've gone through times when I've had like 10 cups of coffee a day. Maybe not 10, but maybe like 7 or 8. But yeah, for the past like 3 months or so, I've been pretty consistent with like 3 cups of coffee a day. And I would do that because I needed energy. And a lot of times I would feel like I needed energy after my workouts. And you know, always before my workouts, I always have some caffeine before my workouts because it just helps me to be able to have a bit more, like, I can push myself more when my mind is more lit up, right? I can push my body to do more without becoming fatigued. So that's why I like to have some caffeine in me when I work out. But I would notice a lot of times, especially in Thailand, but just in general, I had this in the US too, that feeling like fatigued after working out, or sometimes the next day if I would work out at night, and just like not having a lot of energy, and it's more like energy to move my body would be the symptoms I would have. And through experimenting with electrolyte intake, I've been able to mostly solve those problems. I started drinking electrolytes regularly about a year ago, and I usually drink electrolytes every single day now, and it's created a huge difference in my just general everyday energy levels. So, you know, electrolytes they're like potassium, magnesium, etc., sodium, and these compounds allow your nervous system to send chemical messages. You need them in order for your nervous system to function correctly. You also need it for your body to function correctly, such as things like muscle cramps, things like that. They definitely cut down on muscle cramps. I've always been someone who's salted my food more than I think the average person, because I seem to be pretty susceptible to muscle cramps from not salting my food. So there's been times in the past where like I've used clenbuterol, for example, and I've had to really increase the amount that I was salting my food because I was getting cramps, and that would help me. But just in general, I know Cali Muscle says don't eat any salt, but what if you sweat? Have you ever tasted your skin after you work out? It's really salty. So what happened? Your body lost a lot of salt. It lost a lot of sodium through that workout. So it exasperated this when I moved here to Thailand, because it's hot here all the time. It's always summer. It's never winter. It's always summer. It never gets below 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So I sweat a lot, especially when I work out. The gym that I work out at has big fans in it that are about the size of helicopter propellers, but there's no aircon. And it gets hot, all right? It gets hot. And so I lose a lot of water. I lose a lot of water during my workouts, but just rehydrating with the water is not enough to make me feel like normal and like high energy, right? I'll still feel fatigued, and like I think fatigue is the right word to explain the way that I feel. Like more of wanting to be sitting, not wanting to expend a lot of energy or effort to be like moving about a lot, right? And this is when my electrolytes get low. And so ever since I started supplementing with these electrolyte drinks, I forget what the original stimulus was that made me think, you know what, maybe I should start drinking electrolytes. But yeah, it made a big difference. And usually I just go down to the pharmacy and buy them for like what would be the equivalent of 15 to 20 cents US, you know, and I'll put that in a bottle of water, and I use that instead of caffeine now, or instead of like an energy drink, and I feel like it has a really good effect, or a comparable effect at least. Obviously adding caffeine with electrolytes gives the best energy for me. But before, where maybe I would have to drink a coffee to get the energy that I get now just from drinking the electrolytes. And sometimes I even feel better or more energy just from drinking the electrolytes. Sometimes when this would be especially relevant would be when I had worked out, maybe in the early evening or the late afternoon, and then I wanted to go out with friends later in the day. But, you know, after that workout, I just feel like, you know, just destroyed. Like I'm on the couch for the rest of the day, you know, especially if I had trained legs or something. And I normally, you know, what do you do to take care of that? I mean, you drink some kind of stimulant. But what I started noticing was that when I had the electrolytes in these situations, I would get a substantial amount of my energy back, and just my ability to get myself up from a sitting position, you know, up out the door and outside without having to drink caffeine, because I don't like to drink too much caffeine, really. I think what I'm doing now, like 3 cups a day, I think that's what I would like to be my maximum caffeine intake. And I'm not talking big cups. I'm talking, you know, like a mug. I would prefer that to be my maximum caffeine intake. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that I've been able to reduce my caffeine intake and still have the same energy levels by using electrolytes, supplementing with electrolytes. And I think all of us that are athletes, you know, we sweat a lot, you know, whether you play a lot of sports outside or whether you go to the gym, whatever, you know, when we lose all of that sodium, and also potassium is a big one as well, that makes a huge difference. It will cause us to be low energy because our muscles will be crampy and our nervous systems will not be able to communicate properly without the appropriate chemical messengers to help relay those transmissions. So the electrolytes really help me. So other than exactly salting my food a bit more and also drinking the electrolyte drinks, which, how I said that I got that from the pharmacy, I'll get it like in a little pack, and then I'll just pour it into my water and have it that way. But the other thing I do also is I try to make sure to get the potassium, because I don't know if the potassium comes out in the sweat too much, but the potassium does make a difference as well. And it also makes your muscles fuller as well. It definitely does make your muscles fuller, potassium. So big source of potassium would be coconut water. I try to drink a coconut water pretty much every time post-workout nowadays, because I want to make sure that I'm getting that, you know, filling myself with potassium. And coconut water, compared to something like a Gatorade, it has like 10 times as much potassium in it, which I'm not sure what that would be in comparison to a banana. But I also try to eat the banana. So a lot of times I'll eat a banana and I'll drink a coconut water as part of like my post weightlifting nutrition. And if I have that, you know, with a nice salted piece of meat that's sort of heavily salted, or if I don't have that, having an electrolyte drink, I will feel significantly more energy, especially if I need to do any more physical activity the same day, before I've slept again, before I've had a few meals. And it's really helped me. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't want to be having, you know, too much caffeine too, especially caffeine at night. And this is something that can help. All right, this is Dan from Bodybuilder in Thailand.com.